What did the fireman buy from the pimp? His water hose. Ayo. Buenos dias, shitheads. Thanks again for visiting the channel. As always, I appreciate it. If this is your first time to the channel, thanks so much for watching. If you go ahead and hit that thumbs up button just for the algorithm, I'd really appreciate that. And if you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel. If you know what that quote from the beginning of the video was, let me know. It's one of the most awesome movies ever on the planet, but it's quite an old movie, so I don't know that a lot of you guys are going to know what it's from. But anyway, quick, do me a favor. Don't forget, give me a follow on Instagram. It's let's_do-it-up. And if you'd like to send a knife or knives into the channel for review, just go ahead and send me an email to letsdiu79@gmail.com. And the review today is brought to you by none other than the incomparable Satu Dave. So please do me a favor, go to Instagram, give him a follow, SATUDAVE with a space in between. And on YouTube, subscribe to his channel, SATUDAVE without a space in between. If my hands are shaky, I apologize. We'll get into that in a minute. I wasn't able to make a video. I posted on Instagram last week that I was going to have to go dark on the channel for a little while, probably 2 weeks to a month. But it ended up being a lot less than that, thank God. So bottom line, long story short, I have a lot of back and hip issues from when I was in the military, jumping out of airplanes, doing 12-mile ruck marches and stuff like that. So I have a lot of back issues and a lot of hip issues. In the past 5 or 6 years, my primary care physician has been treating me for that pain. I started out on low-dose oxycodone, and over the course of about 4.5, 5 years, I ended up on, excuse me, oxycodone 30 milligrams every 4 hours, and that's what I lived on for about 2 years. A insurance company bought the hospital that is, over them, and they mandated that everybody being treated for pain has to go to a pain management doctor instead. So I was transferred to that pain management doctor. My PCP was no longer allowed to prescribe me medications. And the pain management doctor has a rule that they won't start anybody on narcotics until they've exhausted every other option. So they told me I had 3 choices. I could either, go to an inpatient treatment center in order to be weaned down from the medication and then, be released and continue that treatment at home. Or I could go to a Suboxone clinic in town to get it's a medication called Suboxone. It's like they put it under your tongue. It doesn't make you high or anything, but it controls narcotic withdrawal symptoms for people who are trying to kick opioids. And the third option was to just embrace the suck and deal with it. So if I were to go to an inpatient rehab facility, the hospital that I work at mandates that I go to that hospital for the treatment. And I wasn't going to do that because I work with those people every day and they would never look at me the same way again or trust me. So that was out. And Suboxone was a hard pass for me. No, thank you. So I embraced the suck and I laid in my bed in the fetal position for 3 days, shaking and throwing up, and it was not fun, but I feel fantastic. I feel much, much better. It's been 5 days since the medication's been out of my system, and I started feeling much, much better, much quicker than I expected to. So anyway, I'm back. I'm glad to be back. But a bunch of my friends in the community, were staying in touch with me, making sure I was doing okay. I want to thank you guys so much for that. I can't. I mean, really, I don't want to cry, so I don't want to be that guy. So I'm not going to do that. But we're going to do a quick review today on the Satu. I'm an idiot. The MOFO the Satu Dave sent me. This thing is absolutely fantastic. But let's go ahead and do it up, y'all. This guy overall, but again, you're going to notice that my hands are a little shaky, and that's partly because of the medications and partly because I haven't eaten in 3 days because my stomach's been completely fucked. But again, I'm getting better. So overall, this guy is 9.5 inches with a 4-inch blade and a 3.75-inch cutting edge. This thing is huge. It's huge. 5.5-inch handle. we'll do some quick size comparisons here compared to the Rat Model 1. The Rat Model 1 is obviously going to be just a little bit smaller than the MOFO. I didn't tell you where this was from. I'm sorry. Troubled Blades. This guy is from Troubled Blades. I will leave the link for the site down in the description. I don't know if they have knives available right now. If I am going to recommend to you that you buy a knife from Troubled Blades, I would recommend that you buy one from the secondary market that you know that you're able to verify that you can get that knife delivered to you, after you pay for it. As far as the site is concerned, I don't know if the site is still active. I haven't seen any activity on their Instagram or their Facebook since 2021. So I just don't know if they're still active or not. But anyway, this will obviously dwarf the Rat Model 2. The DEMKO knives up next. The DEMKO 8020S. Probably going to be just a hair shorter. Yeah, just a hair. And the 8020.5 is quite a bit shorter than the MOFO. I have oil all over my mat for some reason. The SPYDERCO Paramilitary 2 is obviously going to be quite a bit shorter than the MOFO. And last but certainly not least, we've got the Para 3. That's obviously going to be quite a bit shorter than the MOFO. You guys can already tell this thing's going to be massive in the pocket. So this is not something that anybody that isn't already into huge knives would be interested in, but it's an awesome freaking knife. I love this thing. It's absolutely just ridiculous for ridiculous sakes. Okay, so carry profile. You can see it's still going to be much longer than both of these knives. And the thickness on this guy, compared to the Para 3, actually is not that bad. It's a little bit thicker than the Para 3, as you can see, but not by much. The height is probably going to be... yeah, it's going to be way taller than the Para 3. But that's okay. I don't think it takes anything away from the knife. I think the size of this thing is part of the draw to it, and I really think that that's going to be a big part of what a lot of people are going to like about this knife. So, this guy has a blade stock thickness of 200 thousandths. You can see this here. It's absolutely massive compared to my thumb there. So... pretty big. What's a good... Well, I'll just use the 8020S to show you the... I mean, the 8020S still has a pretty thick blade. I think that's around 130 or 140 thousandths, so you can see that this is quite a bit thicker. Let's get a quick weight on this guy. Okie doke. See if we're zeroed out. We are. 9.7 ounces. That's actually a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be. So this thing varies in weight. This is a custom knife. Anytime you are able to get a hold of one, it's going to have different thicknesses. It's going to have different materials. It's going to have different weights. The one that I looked at online that I could find that was closest to this one was actually 11.25 ounces. So this one's quite a bit thinner than that one. As you can see, these handle scales here are actually pretty thin. They're not too thick at all. So we are looking at a drop point blade here with a beautiful hollow grind all the way out to the tip. And those grind lines are absolutely gorgeous. You've got a flat here that carries out to about 85% the length of the blade, and you have an opening hole here along with some stop lugs that you can also use as thumb studs. I don't know what the blade steel on this particular version is. I do know that they either usually release in crew wear or CPM D2. That's not to be mistaken for standard D2. CPM D2 is definitely much higher quality than regular D2. And I already told you it's a hollow ground blade, so you've got a very slicey edge here. And Satu Dave has it sharpened very, very well. You can see that it is perfectly centered, maybe just a hair to the show side, but I can't really tell. The knife has no blade play, left, right, up, or down, and the balance is a little bit further behind the pivot than you normally see, but it's not too bad. I'm surprised I can actually hold that there. So yeah, that's pretty good. Titanium lock bar, titanium frame lock knife. As far as I can tell, there is no stainless steel lock bar insert on this guy, but it looks like the detent ball is right towards the tip, kind of like on a Chris Reeve knife. I don't know if you can see that or not. We have a, what is the hardware on this guy? So we've got a T10 on the pivot. We've got T8s on the body screws and a T8 on the pocket clip screw as well. And these two screws here that keep the stop bar in place are T6s. So that's not too bad. Oh no, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm an idiot. The stop bar pin, the stop bar screws are T8s. Everything else is T10, including the pocket clip. I misspoke there. I'm sorry about that, guys. And like I said, so you've got the lugs up here to stop the blade when it's exposed, and then you've got the stop pin in here to stop it when it's closed. The opening hole works really, really well, but you do have to give it just a little bit of wrist because it's a big, heavy, clunky blade. But the thumb stud works great, and the thumb hole works fantastic as well. Flies out with no problem whatsoever. Not exactly drop shut action, but it's not super duper tight, and this is running on phosphor bronze washers as best as I can tell. I'm not going to take it apart to find out for sure, but yeah, it's a hulking knife. It's absolutely gigantic. I mean, you can see I have a big hand, and this thing just takes up the whole thing. It's ridiculous. Let's give you some close-up views here. See if I can show you the whole thing. If I get too close, there we go. So yeah, you've got those beautiful grind lines. I'm going to guess that this is Cerakote here because it's definitely not anodization. You can see kind of on the top here, there's some kind of like dimples in the middle of those holes on the top rows. But on the rows a little lower down, they're just regular milled holes. So I'm not sure if that was intentional or what was going on there, but all the holes on the back have the little dimples on them. So I'm not sure if that's a stylistic choice or what's going on there, but it still looks absolutely fantastic. The pocket clip here is a stamped titanium pocket clip. The back spacer is stainless steel, and that also works as a glass breaker, a skull crusher, attitude adjuster, crowd control, whatever you want to call it. Excuse me. There is no lock stick on this knife whatsoever, and it does shake down shut, no problem whatsoever. And as you can see, it just absolutely rockets out of that handle when you use the thumb stud or the thumb hole. What else is there to tell you about this guy? So as I said, this is a custom knife, so it's going to be very, very expensive if you do find one. Normally they run anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000, and they are currently unavailable as far as I can tell. If you go to the site, you'll see that there are knives there available for purchase, but I'm not sure how accurate that is. I would be careful there. That's all I'm going to say. But this is just such an absolutely fantastic knife. I really wanted to do at least just an overview on it. I don't know that I can review it because I didn't use it and I'm not going to use it. I actually am doing the video today just to try to get the knife back to Dave as soon as I can. And I wanted to talk to you guys again because I've been missing you guys. Been missing doing this. So I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. And stay up, y'all. Praise the pig. Take care.